peace, and love. This is Astro Geeks TV, and I am Karina Dean, bringing you the goddess reading for Taurus, beloved Taurus, who's naturally ruled by Lakshmi in the Eastern and Hindu spiritualities. This is the Jupiter in Scorpio transit for you, Taurus, and this transit has everything to do with your 7th house, which is the house of partnerships, but also many other things. And we are going to get into it right now. So, what is the Jupiter in Scorpio transit? Well, Jupiter is a planet that transits a sign for 1 year, virtually. And Jupiter has entered the sign of Scorpio on October 11, 2017, and will stay transiting through the sign of Scorpio until 2018 November. This is an entire year of fortune and benefits wherever Jupiter is. So anybody who is watching this who has Taurus rising, Taurus sun, or Taurus moon, this is for you. And the story has a lot to do with where Neptune is, because Neptune is in Pisces. And Chiron has also been transiting Pisces, right? So Jupiter is going to be making trines to Neptune and throughout this year. And this has a lot to do with the story of why the good and great fortune is coming to you. Also, Jupiter will be making some squares, which are challenges to the north nodes. And the north nodes are significators of our destiny point at this time, right? So there are challenges by the planet of fortune for you to refine these parts of you. So we're going to get into all of that, okay? So the story is for Taurus, that your hopes and dreams have been preserved by beloved Neptune. And with Chiron transiting here, this has been a place where you may have felt like maybe they would not manifest. Maybe you were losing sight or feeling very dark about your hopes and dreams, your wishes for the future, and where you would really like to see yourself, just your overall vision for your future. And you may have felt sensitive to this point, like maybe you have lost out on your hopes and dreams. Maybe the people that who were supporting you are fluctuating, or weren't really around, or not really giving you the support that you thought you needed. But this still, even though it was a sensitive time, your hopes and dreams are still preserved. They still lie within you dormant, desiring to be stimulated by something like a Jupiter return to your Scorpio. And here we go. Jupiter is the sign that expands everything and brings great fortune, and also brings protection, right? Now, Scorpio is the sign of revival, of transformation, right? In its most, basic sense, right? So a part of the story when it comes to your hopes and dreams lying dormant, not feeling like you can be a part of your hopes and dreams, and maybe they cannot manifest, or feeling detached from them, feeling sensitive about them, having a soreness about them, has a lot to do with Jupiter entering Scorpio. And this has to do with your relationship to a partner, to a marriage partner, to a potential marriage partner, your relationship to business partnerships, and even your relationship to adversaries and enemies, your relationship to fame, and how you relate to the masses of people. And there has been, along with this sensitivity, right, in the 11th house with Pisces, and in your hopes and dreams, there has been a death to your long-term relationships, business relationships. You may have had business relationships that fallen out, that dissipated, that went to ashes. You may have had major change in your marriage partnerships. You may have had to deal with a death of some sort, either of these partnerships or of yourself within these partnerships. And now comes a major revival, a major phoenix rising from the ashes, a pure transformation of your relationship to these long-term partnerships. So this could be somebody returning back, or this could be the possibility of a brand new partnership that has been on the short-term level, right? Has been kind of iffy, but now entering into a place where you are secure, feeling more abundant and prosperous through your partner, your long-term partner, either marriage partner, romantic, long-term, like over a year or two, and plus, or business partnerships. Also feeling like there's a revival with business partnerships. So this Jupiter and Scorpio transit may have people returning that you thought were dead, and not dead in the sense of actually dead, but your relationship with them may have felt like it was just dead. And they return. This could also be brand new relationships, right, that you have been going through, sort of like feeling it out, but now feeling like, yes, I am really feeling like I can make some very strong decisions with these long-term relationships, with these short-term relationships, transforming them into more long-term contractual commitments. So this year is about bringing back the revival of your relationships in general. Now, Scorpio has to do with secrets. And for you, Taurus, naturally, your relationships often have some sort of secretive energy. Maybe you don't like to tell everybody about who it is that you are committed to. Maybe you keep that under wraps and keep that secret for many people, right? So that might play a part in playing this game with your making these decisions, is not being very revealing to the outside world about who it is that you are making a commitment to. So that might be a theme at this time. The other thing is that, yeah, because Scorpio rules over your house of commitment and relationships, then maybe your relationships in the past, the ones that had died, had a lot of secretive energy from you. Maybe they were keeping secrets from you. Naturally, you have relationships, of the long-term essence where they may not feel like you can handle what they have to say. They may be keeping secrets. And this is a theme as well that might be coming up. So this might be an opportunity for you to expose yourself. This can be an opportunity for your relationship partners to expose themselves, because Jupiter is protection. And Jupiter will protect you from making a commitment on long term if it is not the right one. So these are different outcomes that can possibly lay out. And it has a lot to do with what's going on in your personal chart. So that's something to, get a individual reading for. But this also has a lot to do with, just you as a person, different person compared to any other Taurus that you know. What is it that you have been doing when it comes to working on your relationships? What is your relationship to secrets? And you holding secrets, your relationships holding secrets, all of those will come up as well. Now, naturally, because this is the area of partnerships, this also has to do with your adversaries and enemies. And Jupiter, again, like I said, is protection. So there may be some secret enemies. For you naturally have very strong enemies. Taurus and Libra, the two Venus signs, have very strong enemies because their opposite signs, or their sign of adversaries, is ruled by Mars. Right? Scorpio is ruled by Mars for Taurus. For Libra, it's Aries. So for the Venus signs, you guys naturally have strong enemies. But what makes yours different than Libra, Taurus, is that your enemies can be kind of secretive. They can kind of hold back. They could probably be very charming in your face. Even show that they really want to get close to you, but be manipulating situations behind your back. They may be, keeping things from you, talking about you, dealing with you on a deep psychological level, in which you are more of an earth sign. The psyche is not as in your grasp as it would be for your adversaries. So you're dealing also with psychological attacks when it comes to your relationships, but Jupiter being your protective energy for this year, Jupiter being your protective energy for this year, allows for these secretive energies of enemies to show out, to show their face. You may be more inclined to come into the occult to see truly your enemies. You may desire to get an astrology reading, get a tarot reading, get a psychic reading to some degree. Somebody who has a medium, somebody who is deeply in the occult, to help you understand your enemies, help you to see who your enemies are. You may be sometimes oblivious to your enemies. You also may harbor some secretive energies of yourself towards certain people. Deep psychological things that are a little bit hard. They're definitely happening for you, but you may not always be as aware of yourself when it comes to your own harboring secretive nature towards other people. Because this is Jupiter energy, Jupiter brings sign of protection and good fortune for you, Taurus. If you are having any sort of experiences with somebody in which you're the hater, you're the enemy, right? This will actually provide for you a transformative alchemist ability and opportunity to use what you're feeling against your adversaries, against your perceived enemies, and make very strong power moves that make everyone see who's the real boss. Because Scorpio is also modern ruled by Pluto, which is the power. My power over my ability, my capability. And Taurus, you are the sign that also has a lot to do with your abilities, right? So what you're capable of doing, what you value, what you're worth, what your sense of confidence is. So this would allow you to feel more confident in dealing with really challenging folks, basically. Okay, so let's talk about your challenge to the North Nodes. The North Node is in your house of home, real estate. And so this year you will be challenged. So this is where all of this starts to come to play, right? Your hopes and wishes have been under a sore point, but now they're coming back into fruition. They're coming back to your consciousness. Maybe you're feeling more in tune with your hopes and wishes. Maybe feeling like you can bring them back again, right? Through the revival of a partnership that allows you to feel more confident in your ability to deal with secret adversaries, deal with, secrets in general. Learn how to use power moves through this business or romantic and marriage partnership. The possibility of a marriage could help bring you back towards your hopes and dreams. The possibility of a business partnership can bring you back towards your hopes and dreams. Now, the North Node will challenge all of this at the beginning of 2018. North Node being in your house, in your home, right? I said real estate. So there may be some power moves that you need to make within the home or about your home or gaining a home. And this will be a challenge that will be fortunate for you. It may feel like very discomforting energy, but it's pushing you towards building that home for you, that true comfort that only you can provide for yourself, because others are challenging you to do so. Circumstances may be challenging you to do so. Now, this also has a lot to do with your fame, your access to fame. And you may have felt for a long time that you had none. You may have felt like that too has gone through a death, that you are not going to be famous, maybe obsessed with famous people, famous types, because you aren't in that place. You aren't feeling like you could be that type of person. But then here comes the revival of feeling like you can relate to people, and not just one-on-one levels, but on a massive scale. So this too will have to do with your relationship to the masses and being capable of having opportunities in finding fame through a business partnership, marriage partnership, through an adversary even. So this will be a time for you also to experience a spiritual letting go of your career through the challenge of the South Node and moving towards your home life. And therefore, up comes the opportunity to be seen on a massive level. But more than just to be seen on a massive level, because that would be more if you're rising, but to be relatable to the masses. That too will come up. Like I said, the home is going to be a big part of your North Node. And check out my North Node series that's coming out, where I'll talk specifically about this. But the North Node is challenging you to build a home, right? To become a part of a home. Jupiter is giving you the opportunity to have a vacation home. Okay? Jupiter is also helping to protect you from the debts of your family, from any sort of issues when it comes to what your family owes. And Jupiter will have a nice expansive energy towards your long-term partnership. So if you are in a marriage, your partner may start to expand themselves on a psychological level. Your partner may actually expand a little bit on a physical level as well. You know, like their body might get a little bit bigger during a Jupiter transit. Your partner is the key to your good fortune and success this year through the Jupiter in Scorpio transit. So I thank you all for tuning in, and I'm going to pull the Goddess card for you, which is 1, the Song of Creation. And even though this is about partnerships, this has to do with your own creativity, and has to do about you. So even though Jupiter is bringing fortune to the partner, this is about you putting yourself first and your partner putting you first as well. And you coming back into that beautiful fortune of feeling like you are important. What you have to say is important. What your hopes and dreams are for yourself. To not let them go. To bring them back in front of you as priority. Self-priority. Remind yourself that you are the priority. I thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for so much more on Astro Geeks TV. This is your host, Karina Dean, and I'm signing off. Peace and love, Taurus.